A very good afternoon, folks. It's a lovely Monday, the 17th of March, 2025. Big container ship going by. Adds to the video. I was actually planning on going down to Stodmarsh finally to do a vlog about that. But I got up and it was predicted to be grey weather. I didn't want to get out there and have my shots ruined by these clouds. So it's going to be sunny tomorrow and even sunnier and warmer on Wednesday. So we're probably going to leave it till then. I just wanted a change of scenery, so I've come over to, just get a different point of view. The sun's going to be on the south side this time. I'm going to walk along the riverfront as usual, looking for Dartford warblers. The lady inside has said there hasn't been any spotted. I'm like, challenge accepted. We will see, because the last time I saw it, nobody else caught it, and it was very brief. Another thing we're going to do today is just for a bit of extra fun, I'm going to keep a species tally. And I'm going to photograph everything I see. Now, they're not going to be exceptionally good photographs. I'm just going to snap. Now, I'll take really good pictures of birds if they give me the chance. But anything else is just for the record. I'll put it up as a little bubble here on the left or right of me, depending on where there's a bit of room in the shot. And it won't be any editing. I'll just crop it so it fits in the frame, just so to prove I've seen it. I mean, not that I need to, but it's good to have some visual cues from what I've seen. And so when I got here, I came in the main road where the trees are on either side, if you've been here before. And I don't think I've heard lots of birdsong along there, but I don't think I've ever seen anything. So what I still do is I'll put the window down and drive slowly, and I'll listen, and I'll drive along slowly. And I didn't hear anything this time either, but there are things jumping around there. I drove into the car park empty. That's the way we like it. It's a weekday, no kids, no people. That's my kind of birding. First thing I started with was a walk around the car park just to see how fast I could get my list going. And where are we? Let's use my notes. So just snapping as it went over. I'm going on the yellow legs that it's a lesser blackback gull. I've already seen one in the bay here, nice and clear, that it definitely they are about. And then black-headed gull went over. If you want your house sparrows, just come here. They're all over the visitor centre. Then there just was a starling in the bush with them. I thought, that's a big, thick black bird, but it had some patterns, so it wasn't a blackbird. And it was a starling, just really tame. So just quick snap of that. Went further round, blackbird on the ground. Up in the tree, some goldfinch, European goldfinch for you American people. On the ground, a dunnock, and this cheeky little brown rat came out. And I don't know what it was. So it looked like there was some food on the ground, because dunnocks and house sparrows were coming down and this brown rat came out. So I don't know who's feeding them, if they're being fed. Magpie in the tree. Wood pigeon flying over. Not a very good shot of a chiff-chaff, but just to show it was there. They always jump out a mile because you see them fly out from the tree and go back in. They're tiny, almost goldcrest size. And then in this little garden round the back, hidden away, robin singing off to the left. So headed off to the visitor centre to get myself logged in. Now, a little bit of information here. I always forget the parking. When you come to these RSPB sites, you're supposed to put your membership card on the dash so you get free parking. And I usually take a photograph of mine in my phone and just show them, and then we'll write your license down. And I forgot again, and I can't find my 2025 license, my RSPB card. I only got it for 2024, so I don't know what I've done with it. Did they even send me it? Because I'm usually really good. When they come in, the first thing I do is I take them off, photograph them, save them on my phone, so I don't have to remember to take them anywhere. So I went into the visitor centre and they just noted my stuff down, and I was ready to prove, not to be cheeky, I was ready to open my banking app and show that I do pay the £5 a month. Other than that, I think it's like £1 an hour or something, just so you're aware when you come here. And if you're a member, it's free parking, but remember your card so you can put it on the dash, and it just saves a little bit of trouble. And just as I was coming out of the visitor centre, red shank flew over. We're going to see loads of those, but I'm just getting my list going quickly. Anything, I might not even take a picture of a red shank today if one doesn't present a good photo. So, this means I'm going to be taking whatever, if it's a quick shot just to prove I've got it, and then I can get on with my day and put it on the list. You're probably a curlew, aren't you? We're going to see you in a second, yeah. That's definitely a curlew coming in. Yeah, we'll see plenty of those. I've already seen birds that I haven't photographed because I have to do these vlogs, and it takes my, I saw a cormorant coming in, that isn't even on my list yet. And over by the metal bridge, by the visitor centre, couple of mallard pair. I always look there just to see if there are any kingfishers. A very kingfishery looking spot. I don't know if there's ever been kingfishers reported there, but that's what my gut usually tells me. And then as I looked out the riverside, there was a male widgeon. I've heard Chetty's warblers several times, but as per usual, when you get a list going, it's always got the little H next to it that's specifying herd only. Sort of bigger bird so far has been a female Marsh Harrier has been hunting over the ponds there. So a little bit of video of that instead, because it was so far, it wouldn't have been worth a photo. And I mean, I think somebody said today or yesterday a yellow hammer was spotted, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that. And I'm yet to get a water pipit. If there are any birders in these hides, I usually just try to do my own thing, but I'm gonna say, anybody seen this water pipit? Where on earth is it? And are you having to use a super powered scope to spot it? I think I know how to tell the difference. As soon as I see one, it'll be slightly grayer. I think that rounds us up till this point. Oh yeah, we saw a great tit here. I did actually try to get a better shot, but there it is, just awful through the trees. It was hiding itself perfectly. I couldn't get a straight shot. So onwards, just stopped at the main lookout outside of the hides to get a different angle, because there'll be corners here that you can't get to from the hide. Just checking out what I might miss. There's pools here as well. Remember that thing from my previous video where I mucked up the recording for the Dartford warbler? I've done it again for it was only a pheasant, but the point is I'm still making that mistake. I'm going to have to get some sort of a routine in my head. Everything's now continuing just as record shots for now, until I get into the hide and sit down and take some better pictures. Let's get on with it. We are going still on the water. We had a small flock of avocets out by the Thames. I got a nice shot of those floating over the water. Might be keepable. It's a bit distant. We're not sure. A couple of gadwall out there, pair of gadwall, and there were quite a few teal starting to build up. There'll be teal over here as well, but there were a few on the river, and a cormorant went flying by along the water, distant. Again, like I say, please forgive me record shots. I remember when I did this several months ago, where somebody said, your photos are rubbish, why are you putting... Well, it was just for record stuff, and it put me off doing it. It's nice to see a little thing, flip up here or here of the bird I saw and what I was looking at. There are so many birds you see, but you don't bother taking them. And this is a great way not to wait. It gives you another little challenge for the day. Long-tailed tit. There were a little flock of long-tailed tit. Just say, when I was in the car park, I'm sure a fieldfare went over, so I'm keeping an eye out for those. I got some good redwing in my local park yesterday. Wasn't quick enough for the fieldfare. A snipe did go over. I wasn't quick enough to get it in the frame. So I'm sure they're around here, so I'm sure we'll get better shots of those. There are shovelers out there, pairs of shovelers. Common pochards. The light is going in and out. Sunlight, so there's heat haze appearing and disappearing. And the curlew that I missed, needn't have to worry, because there's probably a couple of dozen over there in the distance. Nice one. Great white egret, not a great white egret, a little egret, really in the distance. And the heat haze, that's a real record shot, if ever there was one. I'll just say a Marsh Harrier was just going over at the time. I've already seen one, it's already on the list, but I had to go 4K crop mode. Now I've made a video, you understand what 4K crop is. But it was really distant, and it was just as the sun was out. So unusable, completely unusable. Lapwing, plenty of lapwing. You can hear them, they're making their call that they do in the start of the spring. And Canada geese, and as I was just taking a quick shot of those, common shelduck. So 2 in the one shot. Coots amongst the black-headed gulls. And finally, when I was just looking at the big flock of avocets in the distance there, noticed some, I thought were curlews on their left, well, their left from me, were black-tailed godwits. And I was wondering if they were definitely all curlew, because it was so heat hazy. But that Marsh Harrier scared everything up, and I got these great photos. I'm actually going to keep a couple of these of the black-tailed godwit flock going up in the air. Fantastic. And then they're sleeping, but a couple of tufties over there. What time are we? Right, we've got 2 hours and 10 minutes before closing. And like I said, we're now at 33 species. That's pretty cool. So 50 would be a nice little number to hit. Okay, off we go again. Okay, this must be why it's a bit quiet today. The boardwalk is closed, so you can't go around the whole circuit. People who probably come here often saw on the Facebook group or something on a notice board that I missed that this would be closed, but that's great. Okay, fine. I mean, I always said that the north side isn't as busy as the south side. Slightly disappointing thing about that is that's where the bearded reedlings are, in that area there, but in this wind, probably no chance at all. So fair enough. Okay, we won't have to go too far and then panic. We're going to be miles away at closing time. Added grey lag geese. There are plenty of grey lag geese here. I just took a record shot. They're in there with the Canada geese. You can hear them. Finally got some birds I should have seen already, like a moorhen. And they were with some pintail, lots of pintail. I would say about 20 pairs at the moment from the discovery zone. I could hear the call of the little grebe. I know what it is now. I always wondered which wader it was, but it gave itself away, and there were two of them. I don't know if the lighter coloured one is a juvenile or female, but they're a juvenile and female, or just two little grebes. And they came relatively close. I was able to film without needing to go to the 4K crop. Film for a little while because I needed some of its call, which it gave me for my bird call video. Added up a mute swan as well. I was wondering where they were. Usually you have to go to the north side to see them, or up to the shooting butts hide, if you know where that is. That's on the western side of the reserve. Can't get anywhere near there today, obviously. In the distance, I got my common snipe, not just the one that was flying, which I kind of just cut off everything but the beak. And it was sleeping, but there it is. Not as many as last time. I thought when I went into the main hide, there'd be a few of them huddled around the edges of the islands, but none at all. Guys, how do you think I'm doing with my grammar and my speech? I've tried to get rid of all of my ums and my ers and my likes and you knows. The next thing, see those hesitations, the next thing I'm trying to get rid of is I kept saying so and clearing my throat, like so. I kept doing that a lot. And every time I go to say so, I pause and think, what other word can I use? Okay, over there. And now we're just going to this guy. And another one is probably going to be is going to be the next one I have to extinguish. Trying to think of a way to start sentences without so's and r's and ums. I'm getting there. I've noticed an improvement. I've been doing this a year now, and definitely an improvement in the way I come across on camera. I'm doing it for my sake. I want to speak a lot better. I want to come across a lot more clearly. I want the auto captions that come up to come up exactly as I'm saying them. And there will be some words that just basically because they blur into other words, they sound like other words. The auto captions might never get them correct. Anyway, I think, and I just finish off. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well there. And the male Marsh Harrier over there, because the sun is behind a cloud, it was well exposed. I had to go into 4K crop mode because it was distant. And it was great. It was so windy that it hovered for a while. And while it was hovering, a couple of crows swung past and it just kind of dropped and dropped and dropped into the reeds. Nice. So you can, apologies if my nose is running now, so I think I'm going to cut it off now and hold my face down so you don't see it, okay? I'll catch up with you near the end of the day, okay? Right. Just got back to the cab, finished up. They usually lock the hides an hour before closing. I wonder, did I say so again? I can't remember. Stop saying that word. They close the hides 1 hour before the closing time. So I did it again, didn't I? Okay, concentrate. Do not say that SO word. They gave me a half an hour extra. 4:30 they came in. And yeah, I sat in there for a little bit longer, just trying to bulk up my footage to get anything extra that pops up. Had a nice little bit of luck. Nothing spectacular, but Anyway, let's just go back a little bit to my last catch up. There was a wren. I got a wren. No, normally I wouldn't go chasing a wren, but I wanted to bulk up my species list. I got one sort of semi-shot off, semi-decent shot. It was jumping through these reeds. I was frantically going through manual focus, and just the one, just to show I got it. And then a bird flew up in the air that I just thought, snap everything, because you never know. And reed bunting, great. I probably wouldn't have seen one of those if I didn't get that shot, but it was just for ID purposes, a total record shot. Obviously, if you remember my videos, like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 back, where I got that spectacular footage of the reed bunting on the riverfront here, like super close up of it eating on the reeds. Obviously, it was really cold, and it was like, I don't care if you're filming, I've got to eat for the calories. And then we went along a bit further, and let me get my reminder list out. We got, right, okay, yeah. Back into the, I nearly said the SO word there. I caught myself. Back into the main hide. And I was filming random bits just to bulk up. And common pochard, a little bit closer than it was earlier in the day. And I tried as best I could, but it wasn't happening because it was even in the hide, it was windy, trying to get the curlews in the distance. A lot of starlings up here. Trying to get the curlews in the distance. Everything took off at one point, and I was like looking for the raptor. And what I think happened was this juvenile herring gull, or this molting herring gull, went to grab something and come up with a sock or something, or a mask, and it was stuck to its leg. And that just made everybody panic, because it was a mixture of all the birds taking off panicking, and then a couple of others gulls chasing it, thinking it was a bit of food, like a fish. And even they were like, you could see them kind of like looking at it going, what on earth is that? It's not food, is it? And then off to my left, there was a little grebe, even though I'd got better little grebe footage further away. It was in the middle of doing that thing where it flaps its wings. And I don't know if it's doing that because it's drying off, or it's just had a little wash and it's trying to get rid of any parasites. But it did that for several seconds, so I was able to actually capture it. And I did see, I'm looking around always for closer snipe, and I did see some slightly, well, I'd say closer, it wasn't. But all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute, there's a snipe right there on the island right in front of the hide. And as I was filming it, there was another one to the left of it. I couldn't believe it. Right, I mean, literally, I could feel the frame of this. So I got off I filmed it at first, made sure I got it, and then I took a couple of pictures of both the snipes in their two different locations. One was sort of sat up on the bank resting, and the other one was in the water feeding. Eventually, the one sitting still on the bank took off, and the other one hid behind the reeds. I tried to film it for a little bit, hoping it would come out, but I think it was watching me. Dunnock singing. And then eventually the warden came in and said, we got to close. And coming into the visitor centre, I got a blue tip, which, nothing special, but what that means is 39, 40, 41, 41, and the blue tip 42. So, I mean, look, I've seen some feral pigeons. So we're talking about 42 to 45 species today. Nothing spectacular. I mean, that's okay. That's decent. I wouldn't have wanted to sit indoors anyway. It's a nice clear road back. I've checked the traffic on Google Maps. So I've got to go through the Dartford Tunnel. Like I said, the thing that stops me coming here is the £5 charge, which thankfully thanks to you good people who watched the video, I usually get back because I make money, I make money back from the views. So I hope you enjoyed this. If I've spoken about the 4K crop and you've wondered what it is, well, I just made the video, my last video was about it. So what I'll do is I'll put the link, if I ever talk about it, I'll put the link to the video underneath the video I'm talking about it. And you can and I'll signal you to click on the link if you want to understand what 4K is, 4K crop. Whoop. Luckily that's padded. Okay is another one I've got to stop saying. I said that, I started off a vlog like that once, and my wife said, okay, I hate the way that, when you start off like with, okay, I hate when people do that, okay. Sorry. How do I finish that saying okay? I don't know. Sorry, I'm jumping about here because there's a lot of bird activity. I will say I just had a little bit of Marsh Harrier footage. I saw it was hunting off in the distance, a male one in the near the pylons. Let's finish it up there. Any questions, anything you need to know about parking? There's a lot of information to take in when you come here, and I better get out of here before they lock the gate in about 10 minutes, okay? Over and out.